Good evening, everybody. Getting ready for Monday night practice. And I've said this before, this Monday night practice is something that started with me a year and a half ago at a wonderful, beautiful, caring place called Endure LV that works with people in recovery. And I was invited in to share practice with these people that are just like you and I, trying to take control of their lives and just trying to focus on making themselves better. I won't say making themselves better, but finding that better within them. And that's what this practice is really all about, is finding that beauty and that better that's within you. It's not about finding something out here. It's about finding it right in here. And that's especially today on this Memorial Day. The beautiful, caring woman who founded this, she found this practice within herself, Joyce Boson. She had a son that was in the Navy and that died, and that's what brought this about. And her trying to find a way back. And I'll say this, that's kind of what this day is all about, is trying to help those left behind find their way back, find that better that's within them. Jacob's been on all of our minds a lot this weekend, along with his mama, Joyce. So, as we get ready to move into practice, I just want you to think about that's what we're trying to do, is find the better within. So this is a genuine yoga practice. This is focused about choice. We won't have any woo-woo stuff like weird Eastern music that you're not familiar with. And we won't take in, obviously, I'm not going to do any call outs or adjustments, but when we're back to being able to practice in person, that's a big part of this practice, is not singling anybody out, not calling people out. This is your yoga, your way. So genuinely, if you choose to sit on your mat and breathe, you're doing yoga. Yoga is about finding presence and about connecting the mind and the body to where they work in harmony to overcome. And about looking inward, finding a little bit of peace, getting that monkey, that squirrel, whatever it is that's running around in your head, whatever you name that thing, that very unproductive voice, it's about getting it to take a nap, even for just a few minutes. So as we move into this, remember, it's all about choice. If you choose to sit there a little sunburned, a little tired, and maybe a little tipsy from having a few adult beverages celebrating this holiday and thinking about those that sacrificed all, and you just want to sit on the couch and smile at Max with his Fu Manchu mustache doing yoga, then you know what? You too are doing yoga. I'm getting you to be right here, right now, in the present. So with that said, we're going to begin like we begin all practices, or in the trauma recovery yoga world, we begin with self-regulation. Why do we do that? Because, as I insist on keep saying, this is a practice. We're practicing to help build good habits to help us through those hard times that invariably creep up during the day. So we begin by grounding. Grounding is simply the practice of noticing the support and maybe having that little bit of aha that, wow, that support is always there. All too often we forget. We feel sideways. We feel a little bit unstable. But if you just put your hand down and feel that support provided by the ground, maybe you feel it from the sides of your feet. Maybe you feel it in your sit bones. Maybe seeing it and feeling it at the same time helps the mind and body connect and truly understand what I'm getting at. I can explain it till the cows come home. Sooner or later, if you practice it enough, you won't need to have it explained. It'll be aha. So we're feeling that support provided by the ground. The next step is centering. Centering is the beginning of the process of bringing ourselves inward to where we can begin that discovery of the better that's within us. We begin that process by lifting the pelvic floor as if restricting the flow of urine. And then we're going to take and pull the belly button in towards the spine, pulling that belly button in, totally activating all of our core muscles, continuing to breathe, albeit I bet it's shallow. Begin to feel that heat building in your core. We're stoking our inner furnaces that we can use later to consume all of those things that no longer serve us. Maybe, just maybe, you'll notice your thoughts and awareness shifting into your core. The third final piece of self-regulation is the breath. All too often, it's the first thing we forget how to do in a stressful situation is we forget how to breathe. That sounds so silly, but it's so true. So first thing somebody says to you in a bad situation, honey, just take a breath. So let's begin by noticing our breath. At first, just feeling the air flowing in and flowing out. Maybe even thinking, I am breathing in, I am breathing out. Feeling that air flowing in through your sinuses, down the back of your throat into your lungs, and then warmed and moist flowing back out. Maybe if you're like me and your allergies are kicking up today, you can hear it rumbling as it goes through those semi-plugged up nasal passages. That's okay. Just allow the air to flow in and flow out while being aware of it. Now we're going to move into a three-part deep breathing or yogic breathing. We're going to take and fill ourselves up from the bottom up to the top. So we begin by releasing our belly and expanding it. Big belly, filling the air up, filling it clear full of air, continuing to bring the air in, inflating the lungs and the shoulders lift. And that final last little bit of air flows in and makes our eyes cool and sparkle. And then we're going to exhale into a reverse pattern. First, allowing the chin to come down, the shoulders soften, the belly button comes back towards the spine. Inhale, big belly. Ribs separate and shoulders lift. Eyes cool and sparkle. Exhale, the chin comes down. Shoulders soften, belly comes in. One more time, inhale, big belly. Shoulders lift, eyes cool and sparkle. And exhale, the chin comes down, the shoulders soften, the belly button comes in. And then continuing to allow the head to hang slightly heavy, not pushing it forward. Allow the breath to fall back into whatever feels comfortable and normal, while continuing to be aware. Am I breathing in? Am I breathing out? Because now, as we move into the movement part of our practice, we're going to take and link the breath with the movement. So at first, on the next inhale, we're going to bring the right ear to the right shoulder, focusing on bringing the ear to the shoulder, not the shoulder to the ear. Continuing to breathe in and breathe out. And on the next exhale, we're going to allow the chin to come back down towards the chest. Feeling those tendons in the back of the neck begin to stretch out. And on the next inhale, bringing the left ear to the left shoulder. Again, keeping the awareness on keeping that shoulder blade plugged in and bringing the ear to the shoulder. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in. And then as we breathe out, allow the chin to rotate back towards the chest. Continuing that breathing, preparing for the first of a series of neck rolls. Again, we're going to link the breathing with the movement. So on the next inhale, we're going to bring the right ear to the right shoulder and tilt the head back. And then as we exhale, we're going to bring the left ear to the left shoulder and down. Inhale as we go to the right and extend. Exhale as we come to the left and compress. Inhale as we open up. Exhale as we come back in. Inhaling, extend. Exhaling, compress. One more time around as we inhale to the right and back. And then as we exhale to the left and down, we allow the chin to hang heavily once again. Now we're going to reverse that rotation. And on the next inhale, we're going to inhale to the left and back. Exhale to the right and down. Inhale to the left and back. Exhaling to the right and down. Inhaling as we open up. Exhaling as we bring it back in. One more time, inhaling to the left and back. Exhaling to the right and down. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take and straighten the spine, bring the gaze back forward, bringing the right hand up, fingers spread, shoulder still plugged in, shifting the gaze and the palm to where they're pointing at each other, blinking the eyes, wiggling the fingers, allowing the light to flow in and stimulate that happy center of the brain. We're going to take and shift the gaze to the other side. Bring the left hand in contact with the mat. Watching your hand walk slowly away. Shifting the gaze back forward. Inhaling, extending that right hand up towards the ceiling. Exhaling, coming over the top. Feeling the stretch in the right side and the compression in the left. Inhaling, coming back up. Exhaling, bringing the hands back down to the knees. We're going to inhale as we bring the left hand up. Again, keeping the shoulder blade plugged in. Shifting the gaze and the palm towards each other. Wiggling the fingers, blinking the eyes, and maybe even feeling a little bit of a grin tugging at the corners of your mouth as the light stimulates the happy center in your brain. Shifting the gaze to the right. Bringing that hand in contact with the mat. And seeing and feeling it slowly walk away. Shifting the gaze forward. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, come over the top. And feeling the stretch on the left and the compression on the right. And say, hi, Oscar. Oscar, the garbage pail kitty that was found over a decade ago that tries to nurse and care for every feral kitten that comes in this house. Inhale back up. Exhale, bring the hands back down to the knees. Now, as we inhale, we're going to sweep the hands up overhead, interlacing the fingers, keeping the index fingers pointed up, pads of the thumbs touching, keeping our gaze forward. We're going to inhale, extend up. Exhale, come over 1, 2 numbers on your personal clock. Inhale, extend. Exhale, come down a little bit more. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, come down 1, 2 numbers on the other side. Inhale, extend. Exhale, come down a little bit more. Before inhaling back up. And now we're going to shift the gaze up to that little cup formed by our hands. Then we're going to inhale, reaching up, 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 feeling our biceps brushing our ears, and then separating the hands, opening the arms and the heart up to the wide, wide world, and feeling the weight of the day begin to lift from your shoulders. We're going to bring the left hand to the right knee, right hand behind the right hip. Inhale, sit up straight, and then twisting at the base of the rib cage in the torso, shift your twist around to the right. We're going to inhale, sit up straight, shift the gaze back over that right shoulder, and then using that front arm, exhale as we pull ourselves around just a little bit more, stretching out those tendons that run up and down our back. Inhale, allow yourself to unwind. And then we're going to take and bring the right hand to the left knee, left hand behind the left hip, sitting up straight and twisting just like on the other side to the left. Inhale, sit up straight, shift the gaze back over that back shoulder. Using that front hand, pull yourself around just a little bit more. Feeling that stretching of those tendons, releasing that stored tension. Unwinding back to an easy seated pose. We're going to take and move now into tabletop. We're going to shift Oscar a little bit out of the way. He's getting quite comfortable with Poppy doing yoga in the front row. Usually he's hanging out somewhere else sleeping, but that's okay. Hands with the fingers spread underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, feet laying flat to bring the tops of the feet in contact with the mat. Inhale, feel your head pull to the far side of the room. Exhale, look over the right shoulder at the right pinky toe. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, look back over at the left pinky toe. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, look back over at the right pinky toe once more. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, look back over that left pinky toe. Inhale, back to center. Now we're going to move into bird dog pose. And unfortunately, Oscar's not afraid of dogs, so he's not going to run off, I don't think. Extend the left leg back, taking this opportunity to tuck the toes and bounce on your toes a little bit, stretching out those tendons in your hamstrings and in your Achilles. Shifting the weight into your left hand, extending the right hand out to the far side of the room, pulling the belly button in to engage the core, and then lifting that back leg and noticing while you're doing this, those little trembles, those little shakes. Exhale, come back down. We're going to move into the other side. Bringing the right leg back, tucking the toes, stretching those hamstrings out a little bit, shifting the weight into the right hand, extending the left out to the far side of the room, engaging the core, pulling that belly button in, Bring that back leg up. And again, noticing that tremble, noticing that shake. Exhale, come back down into tabletop. And now we're going to get ready to move into our first down dog of the night. Tucking our toes, bring our sit bones back to our heels. And again, this isn't about getting there. It's about being in the position. So whatever works for you is just fine. For me, I think of unfolding. I shift my weight back towards my heels and then unfold my legs, bringing my sit bones up towards the ceiling and my head down below my heart. That's the key to downward dog, is getting your head below your heart for a gentle inversion, giving your internal organs a little bit of rest. It's okay if your knees are bent. It's okay if you look like a hunchback, because nobody's looking, nobody's judging, nobody's critiquing, least of all you. Inhale, look forward and walk slowly, slowly, slowly to the front of the mat. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Bringing the hands to the crease in the hips, straightening the legs, keeping the head rotated forward and the shoulders forward. Slowly begin to rise up, stacking one vertebrae on top of the other, slowly, slowly, slowly. And then when we get to the top, rotating the shoulders back, opening the heart up, bring the head up to neutral, and feeling more of that weight we pile on ourselves just slide off our shoulders. Inhale, bring the hands overhead. Exhale, forward fold, lead with the heart. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, forward fold, plant the hands, step back, high plank. Move the big ball of cat hair off your mat. Lower down, low push-up. Turn the feet over, pushing up into upward dog, tucking the toes, pushing back into downward dog. And this is where we start trying to build another good habit. We're not trying to change bad habits. We're trying to establish good habits. This is one about positivity. And it's about talking to ourselves in a positive manner. We're our own worst critics. We need to figure out a way to break that cycle. And we start that new habit with those two words. I am practicing yoga. I am right exactly where I am supposed to be. I am worthy. Inhale, bring the right leg up. Exhale, bring the right foot forward between the hands. And then turn the back heel across the back of the mat, rising up into warrior two. Front knee over that front ankle. Back leg straight, back foot parallel across the back of the mat. Arms out. Gaze shifted out over that front hand. We're going to turn that front hand over. And then we're going to tilt ourselves back, reaching that front hand up towards the ceiling, running the back hand down the back side of the back leg, feeling it begin to stretch and pull on those tendons on the inside of that back thigh. Inhale, coming back up into warrior two, straightening the front leg, tipping the hips back, and then allowing yourself to fall over that front leg while reaching that back arm up towards the ceiling, running that front hand down the inside of that front leg, feeling it begin to stretch out those tendons on the inside of the front leg. For inhaling, coming back up into warrior two, windmilling the hands down, stepping back and pushing right back up into downward dog. Continuing that internal conversation. I am stronger than I ever thought I would have to be. I am a good person. I am handsome. Inhale, bring that left foot up. Exhale, swing it forward. Noticing again, I'm much more awkward on this side than I am on the other, and that's okay. Rising up, back foot across the back of the mat, knee over that front foot, rising up into warrior two on the other side. Maybe this time noticing, are my shoulders tipped back, stuck in the past? Am I leaning forward, yearning for the future? Or are my shoulders and my hips centered and aligned right here, right now, in the present? Turn that front hand over, reach it up towards the ceiling, bring that back hand down the back side of the back leg, feeling that stretch, feeling that release on the inside of that back thigh. Rising back up into warrior two, straightening that front leg, tipping the pelvis back, and allowing yourself to fall over that front leg, opening the heart to the far side of the room, running that hand down, feeling that stretch on the inside. Maybe if you're like me, once in a while, this is one of them right now, I'm getting a nice big Charlie horse in that bottom calf. And remember, this is your yoga, your way. And if it's hurting, back off. It's not supposed to hurt. This is about your practice and doing what's right for you. Coming back into warrior two, windmilling the hands down, stepping back, pushing right back into downward dog. I am worthy. I am valuable. I am beautiful. Inhale, look forward, hop walker jump to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep it all up overhead. Exhale, pull it all back down to the heart. Inhale, bring the hands up overhead. Exhale, forward fold, lead with the heart. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, plant the hands, steps back, high plank, lower down, low push-up. Turn the feet over, pushing up into upward dog, tucking the toes, pushing back into downward dog. Continuing to think about shifting that conversation to the positive. Maybe thinking of other opportunities to practice those I ams. Like when you're brushing your teeth in the morning. I don't know about you, but that's the most critical point of my day. Instead of saying what you always say, think about shifting that conversation and going, I am going to be handsome as soon as I comb this hair. I am going to have the freshest breath in the house as soon as I brush my teeth. I am one handsome fella. Inhale, bring the right leg up. Exhale, swing it forward between the hands, dropping the back knee down. You can choose to either keep the toes tucked or bring the foot flat with the top of the mat, rising up into a low lunge. Bring the shoulders back, spine straight, chin slightly tucked. Maybe, just maybe, if your knees are hurting a bit, you can take and come into kneeling pose, or I think this evening, I'm going to come clear back into hero's pose, taking that weight off my knees, knowing that any of those positions are okay. If you want to just sit down, that's fine too. We're going to inhale, we're going to lift the hands up overhead. And then as we shift our gaze up between those hands, we're going to see a beautiful balloon between our hands. And on that balloon, we're going to take a Sharpie and we're going to write down all of the things that other people tell us that hold us back. all of those things that are counterproductive, all of those things that no longer serve us, all of those things that they have no right to say to us, all of those things that we just don't need. We're writing it all down, covering that whole balloon up with Sharpie. We're going to lift that balloon up, 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 and then release it. And as that balloon begins to float slowly up, 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 we feel it tugging all of that crap out and away, leaving us so much lighter and at ease. Inhale, bring the hands up overhead. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, and push right back into downward dog. Continuing role-playing that conversation in the mirror in the morning. I am going to do amazing things today. I am feeling amazing after a great night's sleep. I am beautiful. Inhale, bring the left leg up. Exhale, swing it forward between the hands again. Not caring, not stressing, not worrying about how we get into this lunge or kneeling, or even if we're taking and going into the hero's pose, because we're being kind to our knees. Remember, this is your yoga, your way. You be kind to you. We're going to take in this time, bring the hands up overhead again. And now when we shift that gaze up, between those hands, we see a beautiful little brown paper sky lantern. And into that sky lantern, we're putting all of those words, all of those emotions, all of those feelings, all of the stuff we wish we could share with someone, something, some friend, some family member that's no longer here. We're putting all of that into that little sky lantern, lifting it up, 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 and releasing it. We see it slowly, slowly, slowly rise up, and watch those beautiful breezes catch it and shoot it forward, knowing that it's taking all of that information to exactly the person, friend, family member, thing that needs to hear it, feel it, and be embraced. Inhale, bring the hands up overhead. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, pushing back into downward dog. Continuing that conversation. I am okay. And sometimes it's everything you can do to just be okay. And sometimes you need to recognize that it's okay to not be okay. Inhale, look forward, step through into a seated position. Moving into a little bit of a hip opener. We're going to take in, bring the bottom of the feet together, taking a second to just engage in just a tiny bit of self-care, thinking about that self-care is about those little things we do for ourselves, not those big spa getaways. Those are great. Those are fun. It's about taking the time, even for 30 seconds during the day, to go, wow, I appreciate you feet for carrying me all of those miles. Just being appreciative of yourself and recognizing yourself for all you do for yourself and others. Now we're going to take in work on hinging from the hips. You know that the hips are a place where we store so much Anxiety, so much. Fear of the future, so much garbage that we just don't need. You can tell that. Think about when you get stressed out. What's the first thing that happens? Your back starts hurting because all of those muscles tie up and just pull together. Well, now we're going to release them. We're going to help stretch them out. And through a regular practice, keep them stretched out to where they can't hold on to that garbage. Inhale, feel your shoulders being pulled up towards the ceiling. And then allow yourself to hinge at the hips, folding forward over your feet, feeling that opening, releasing that tension, and allowing that anxiety, that stress to flow out and away. Inhale, feel yourself pulled a little bit further over. Exhale, sink down another millimeter or two. Feeling that release, enjoying that release, embracing that release. Now we're going to slowly rise up. We're going to come into our first of 3 boat poses. Bringing the flats of the feet to the mat. Mine never can touch. Knees up, maybe your hands behind, maybe your hands behind, holding you up, whatever works. Again, your yoga, your way. So we lean, shift our weight back onto our sit bones, square our shoulders up, pull our belly button in to engage the core, remembering to keep breathing, bringing one foot up, maybe both feet, maybe releasing, balancing on those sit bones, maybe holding yourself up, feeling that tremble, noticing that shake before bringing the right ankle over the left. Deflate, deflate. Inhale, lift the seat. Exhale, come into our second boat pose. Again, really focusing on that tremble and that shake and trying to find that aha, that, wow, this is my mind and my muscles, my body working together to chase fear out. Left ankle over right. Deflate, deflate. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, come right back into our third and final boat pose, truly feeling our mind and our body pushing that fear out, taking control and working together. Right ankle over left. Deflate, deflate. Lift the seat. Sit it back down. Now, we're going to roll over our legs. We're coming into a plank pose. We're going to chase some more of that fear out of our body. Remembering those trembles, those shakes, that truly is fear fleeing the body. So we're going to come into a high plank, hands underneath the shoulders, toes tucked, back flat. If you feel this is flat, it is flat because this is your yoga, your way. If you feel this is flat, it is flat. If this is what works for you in plank, then you know what? It's plank for you. So again, noticing that tremble, noticing that shake, allow the heels to fall over to the right, reaching that left arm up towards the ceiling. Again, embracing that tremble, embracing that shake before coming back down, tipping the heels the other way, rising up on the other side, feeling that fear flowing out and away as you realize that you are in control of you. Coming back down to a high plank, lowering onto your forearms, feeling your shoulder blades pull apart slowly. Bring the knees down, the thighs down, separating the arms and bringing an ear to the mat, allowing the feet to rest with their tops against the mat. As you feel your breathing begin to slow down and begin to search for and notice your heart beating, pulsing, throbbing against the mat, pushing out love throughout your whole body, pushing love up, up, up to the top of your head, and pushing it down, down, down to the tips of your toes. Lifting your head up and bringing the other ear to the mat. And again, feeling that love pulsing out through your heart, seeing it begin to radiate out in concentric circles. First, embracing your household in pure love. Maybe radiating out and embracing your whole neighborhood. Just feeling that love flow outward through you. Inhale, bring the head to center. Bring the hands down on either side of the chest. Pushing up into tabletop, just long enough to bring the big toes together, knees to the outside edge of the mat, sit bones back towards the heels. We're going to come into child's pose. If it's within your practice to bring your forehead to the mat to create pressure on that third eye, that flat spot between your eyebrows, that's wonderful. For me, I like to build my own little column, stacking one fist on top of the other, my own little support mechanism, and then bringing the center of my forehead into contact with my own personal column. And knowing that that gentle pressure on the pineal gland is signaling our body that we're safe. It's okay to begin to slow down and let go. Maybe, if you're like me, you can see the last little bits that we've held on to of those things that no longer serve us, circling around in that think center and slowly, slowly spiraling inward until they get flushed down through that conduit in the center of your column, where they're sucked up and dissipated by the ground, leaving you even freer than you were just seconds ago. Now keeping the head bowed forward and down, shoulders forward, bring your hands flat onto the mat and gently walk your hands back towards you, slowly pushing yourself up, keeping the head bowed down before rising slowly up, shrugging the shoulders back. Bring the head up and feeling even more of the weight of the day just flee from your shoulders, leaving you lighter and more at ease than you've been all day long. Now we're going to reach over to the side, swing our feet out in front of us, keeping our feet flat on the mat, allowing ourselves to roll back, bringing our back flat onto the mat, maybe extending our arms out to the side, opening our heart up to the sky, walking our feet out to the edge of the mat. We're going to take and move our knees with the breath. So as we slowly exhale, we're going to allow the knees to fall slowly, slowly, slowly to the right. And then we're going to slowly inhale as our knees come back up. And we're going to slowly allow the knees to fall over to the left with the breath. Inhale as the knees slowly come back up. Exhale as they slowly, slowly, slowly fall to the right. Inhale them slowly, slowly, slowly back up. Exhale, allow them to fall one last time to the left. And then inhale as they slowly come back up. And we're going to take and move into our final position of the night for our guided meditation or Shavasana. You can do that either by sitting, by laying on your belly, like curling up in a fetal position, whatever works for you. Traditionally, we extend our legs out, feet about a foot apart. Allow the feet to splay open, which reduces the pressure in our hip joints. Allow your hands to just fall where they will to your sides. Palms can be either up or down. The important part is to just let your fingers go. Don't hold on to anything. Just allow yourself to be. And as we slowly feel ourselves sinking into the mat, we feel our forehead smoothing out, our eyebrows drifting further and further apart, eyeballs sinking down into their sockets, our sinuses relaxing, our jaw falling heavy, teeth slightly separated, lips together, tongue gently against the back of the teeth. We feel our shoulders just release and let go of the rest of the day's burden. We feel our hands going numb and tingly as they sink further and further into the earth. As we're lying here, just allowing ourselves to melt and to be, we notice a beautiful ball of light flowing down, making contact with our forehead, pushing its way gently into our skull, illuminating all of those dark places, chasing out all of those things that we hide from, chasing them all down as that light flows down through the sinuses, chasing them down into the chest as that light embraces and warms your heart. The light continues to roll down through your belly, chasing all of those little gremlins down and away from your core. The light then pushes its way down through your pelvis into your legs, and you begin to feel the bottom of your feet begin to tingle and tickle as all of that junk is pushed out and away, leaving you literally and figuratively lighter and at ease. And in this state of ease, I want you to hear and say silently to yourself these words. May I be happy, healthy, and secure. May my household be happy, healthy, and secure. May my neighborhood be happy, healthy, and secure. May the whole world find happiness. May they find health. May we all find security. As we begin to allow conscious thought and movement to flow back into our body, we begin wiggling our fingers, wiggling our toes, rotating our wrists, rotating our ankles. Bring our hands into our chest, and then reaching our hands up, up, up towards the ceiling, extending the fingers, wiggling the fingers, pulling our knees into our chest, and wrapping ourselves in a luscious hug, rocking gently from side to side, massaging the last little bits of tension out of your lower back before allowing yourself to roll over into a fetal position, pillowing your head upon your lower bicep Bring your upper hand down, and once again feeling and noticing the support that's waiting for you from the ground. Keeping the eyes closed to hold on to this feeling of ease that you have gifted yourself. Using that upper arm, push yourself up slowly into a seated position. And as you get there, I invite you to join me, bringing your hands together at heart center. Four fingers together, thumb pressing gently into the sternum, and allowing the head to bow down to the ultimate ruler, the heart. I ask you to hear these words and know them to be as true about you as they are about me. I am whole. I am worthy of giving and receiving love. I am complete. This magical light that shines within me sees, recognizes, and acknowledges that same magical light within each and every one of you. Thank you so much for sharing practice with me today. Namaste. Thank you all. Hey, sis. Hi, Christy and Tammy. Great to see you. Thank you all for sharing, and have a great evening. And maybe I'll get to see you next week, next Sunday at 5.